So we have a few elderly relatives who have one of these things and also one or two smartphones amongst them, but they are elderly, they are in their 80s, but they are very hard of hearing and they're not particularly savvy with using smart devices. They're just about there in terms of using the internet and email, but they're not very good at configuring or setting things up. And one thing that is completely out of the question for them is to use smartphones or iPads or tablets as devices for video calls, because the audio quality is simply far too poor. So I've come up with a quick way of giving you the ability to give an elderly neighbour or a relative who's got real hearing difficulties a way of enjoying video calls with friends and family. So all you need, very simply, is a pair of computer speakers, a pair of old sort of PC speakers like this, which I had kicking around the house. You can buy them for 10 or 12 quid on eBay, a little bit more in other retail outlets. And of course you can easily generate sound through these by plugging it into the headphone jack on the iPad or on the tablet or on the smartphone. But the thing that really makes it work well, of course, is having a decent microphone. So you can obviously buy microphones. This is a really cheap thing for about 4 quid off eBay. But then how do you connect all these things up in a really easy way for an elderly person to be able to use? And the magic to it is, the secret to it is one of these things. So if you Google on the internet a 3.5mm audio splitter, this is what you get, and the device just plugs into the headphone socket or the audio socket on the iPad or on the tablet or on the phone. The microphone goes in there and the speakers go into there, and then you are all set to enjoy, or for that person to enjoy, high quality audio with a high quality microphone, and you're creating a mini studio for them at home. You need to use either FaceTime, which is really easy, obviously, for someone to particularly receive and make calls on if they want to make a video call to you. But for my elderly relatives, because they are not savvy, particularly on how to use anything that the basic app functions, it's very easy to phone them if you do it through WhatsApp or Viber. Those are the two things I found are the most simple. So all they need to do then is just to receive a call. They just swipe the screen and they're in and they're away, able to make really high quality video calls to friends and family. So this has worked really successfully the last couple of weeks with my in-laws who are in their mid-80s, and it's transformed our connectivity to them. So, but the key thing is you can't do it properly, and you certainly can't do it with a microphone and get audio from both sides working really well unless you have one of these little devices here. So that's what mine looks like. It's a couple of pieces of wire into the single connector there, £3 or £4 on eBay. There are a few other variants which I will show you with my trusty printout here. They come in 3 other sort of typical variants. One is a little lead with a little block on the end on the left. Another one is a sort of all-in-one moulded item, and the other one is a similar lead to the one I've got, but it's got black instead of colour-coded connectors. Even if you don't get one that's got colour-coded connectors on it, it's easy to identify which is the microphone and which is the speaker's output, because there are little logos on them that are quite clear to see. Key thing when you're doing a Google search or an eBay search, you'll find other variants of this lead that are actually just for headphones and don't have a microphone. So you must make sure that the one, if you get one of these, has got 4 metal segments on the 3.5mm jack end. Otherwise you'll be getting the wrong one. You won't do any harm, but the microphone won't work. So if you want to be able to recreate what I've done here, you need to ensure you get one that's got the full 4 segments in it, and that's the end result.